Coach, I know we've said it time after time this year, but the fight that this team showed today after being down as bad as we were early on, losing Lamelo, just the guys to come back and continue to push. Can you just talk about the continued effort from this team?
Yeah, I think it's effort. I think it's pride. It's competitiveness. It's togetherness. All the things that we hope to continue to build and just embody every single game, every single day. And proud of the group. You know, after our first quarter, where I think we were a little bit like deer in the headlights and lost our way a bit. And then I thought, you know, after that first quarter, you obviously go out and you win the next three, I believe it was. Okay, 2 out of 3. Lost the third by a point. But regardless, just gave ourselves a chance at the end of the game. And if we can learn from some of those, like in the game, Finney Smith pump fakes, staying down on pump fakes, being the second off the floor, can you come up with like a couple 50-50 balls that were in front of our bench and defensive rebounds where maybe you get a hit first and all moments that we can grow from. And I love that we had ourselves a chance at the end of the game there, and we'll continue to learn from it.
Miles leads the starters again, but the two Joshes, again, you've been talking about them all week, continuing to step up, and it seems like they're just getting better and better playing together out there.
Oh, they really are. And, you know, defensively, I told both of them during the game, their intensity, their knack for just coming up with timely steals and their communication, it becomes contagious. Then all of a sudden they fueled Miles to turn up his intensity a little bit and Vasa to turn his up. And so love what they are giving the group. I think they're two of the better defenders in the NBA with their versatility to guard multiple positions, their IQ on that end of the floor, and their physicality. So just love what they're giving the group. And then I think they're also growing offensively to watch them be able to push the break and play a little pick and roll and make timely passes that they need to when the bigs are stepping up or there's extra shifts in activity. Just really happy with what we're getting from them.
In pregame, you talked about trying to stifle the AD dribble jab, and he kind of got to that a few times in the first quarter and throughout the game. What were you seeing there, and how do you think you guys played defense on him overall?
I had 42 points. See how he did that? Very good with your words. Journalist school is good to you. I think we were okay. There's a couple moments where I wish that we would have done a little bit more. But he definitely was able to find a rhythm, get comfortable. But some of those two offensive rebounds, you know, he had 8 offensive rebounds too. So that contributes to some of his points and a couple free throw fouls. And so I think that we can grow as, you know, whoever was the primary guy on him, trying to do a little bit better of taking away his rhythm. And then also, you know, I could do a better job of having the guards maybe as they were coming to set pick and rolls, be more aggressive earlier in the game, knowing that he probably wants to score more than he actually wants to pass to those guys that are screening for him. So that's something that hopefully we can improve upon when we see him again in a couple weeks.
With Melo, what did you see when he got injured there, and just how is he doing, I guess, right now after the game?
Yeah, you know, I came in here pretty quickly afterwards, so I know that they're still obviously doing some evaluation. I think he shot the ball, was backpedaling to get back on defense and stepped on a foot. And so we'll see what happens tomorrow as he comes in for treatment and stuff. But he did a great job of being in the locker room and being engaging as the guys came off the court.
When you lose a guy like Lamelo Ball, who your offense is, he's, you know, your main engine on offense, how does that change your game plan going into the rest of the game? What are some things that you had to tweak to play the second half without him?
Yeah, I think we try to do a couple different things. One, using Miles as a pick and roll handler or being a pick and roll screener. I think using Vasa to attack the bigs in different coverages and see if we can get ourselves in some downhill attacks. Nick obviously brings us another great attack. And then J.O. I think also is a good contributor for us offensively. So trying to use a little pick and roll with different guys as the primary handler, trying to do a little bit of off-ball screens. Sometimes the off-ball screens, if the other team is switching, gets us a little stagnant, and we need like a little bit more variety. But I think that we'll continue to grow all the layers of our offense. Like you said, when you have Melo, who is in a lot of our actions and having to go other places, the other guys are very much so capable of doing great things, which they did tonight. And we just have to get more comfortable and used to where we are all going to be in different sets and stuff like that at the end of the game to be tighter.
How did you guys think, or you think your guys kind of weathered the storm, not just after the first quarter, but even down the stretch with some of those turnovers, overcoming those to put yourself in a position at the end?
I thought they did a great job. Every time out, the communication was great in terms of, hey, let's get another stop. We're right there, or they're talking to each other about where they can be in their shift activity, or the active X5 around the basket on some of these post-ups with Vanderbilt being down in the dunker or Hayes being down in the dunker, and pushing each other to just be better defensively. And I thought that really helped. So even though we may have turned it over a few times, it led to some points for them. I think we forced 19 turnovers for 28 points. So we also had a great defensive activity night as well.
Talk about shift activity. I think it was in the fourth quarter. LeBron had Nick on the post up. You were kind of saying maybe bring some help. Came late, and then he went for the and one. Is that a communication thing, or is that just, hey, we need to try and be more intentional with our defensive schemes?
Yeah, I think it's just a growing, it's a lesson for us to learn. And as we're all growing and just having those instincts, I believe actually that was like third quarter, ended up being an AM1, and just trying to get that guy from the high quadrant to not second guess himself, be decisive and come immediately on the call. And I just think that, when you're playing a good player in James and then you have a good shooter on the high quadrant or a wing player, you get a little indecisive. And so just continuing to watch that film and show, hey, this is the emphasis, this is what we have to take away and make other guys beat us from different spots. We'll continue to learn that and be really good. And I think the guys afterwards, they came off the court and recognized their mistake, and we'll be better.
We talk a little bit about Max Christie for the Lakers. He took the role of Lamelo early in the game. Obviously, didn't play against him much of the night, but just talk about him as a defender and how you've seen kind of his game grow this year.
Yeah, I think he's a good, long, active defender. Seems like he's picking up on tendencies a lot better, and they've done a good job of kind of just using him as a versatile guy that can guard a point guard, a shooting guard, a small forward, moving him around and switch in. And I think he's done a great job of kind of just evolving his game to be more defensive-minded.